Hello again, everyone, and here we are at the end of Chapter 1. I'm going to talk a little bit about self-fulfilling prophecy and then show you the actual quiz that you'll be taking on this chapter. So most of you are familiar with the concept of self-fulfilling prophecy. That means that the expectations that you have about yourself in a given situation become real because of the strength of your expectation and not because it was a foregone conclusion. So the repeated thoughts that you rehearse in your mind influence your beliefs about yourself. That is really challenging when the repeated thoughts that you have are negative thoughts. They're self-defeating thoughts. I'll never be able to pass this math class is a very typical self-defeating thought. And then that leads to not fully paying attention in class, not completing all of the homework, because you don't expect to succeed anyway. Another example would be, oh, I want to ask that person out, but they'll never say yes. So you never ask. So the self-fulfilling prophecy is, I don't think I could ever go out with that person. And in fact, because you never asked, of course, you're never going to go out with them. The other part of this is others' expectations can become your reality. When a parent has told you something that's limiting, like, I don't think you'd be very good at, and then fill in a profession. Or, I can't believe you're majoring in art. You can't get a job with that. Or music. You can't get a job with that. Or why don't you become a teacher like everybody else in our family? Or I expect you to go into the family business. Those others' expectations then become your reality until at one point you might wake up and say, I really don't want to work in the family business. I really do want to be a teacher. I really would like to major in art, and I'll figure out a profession that I can do that's related to having a college degree, not necessarily art. So the saying, and this takes some contemplation, I am not what I think I am. I am not what you think I am. I am what I think you think I am. So let's break that down a little bit. I don't tell myself the truth about who I am. I am not what you think I am because I don't know what you think I am. But I'm going to make a guess about what you think and become I am what I think you think I am. So example of this is if you think other people think you're dumb, then you think you're dumb. If other people think that you are silly, then you may think you're silly. But other people don't really tell you that you're silly. You've guessed that they think you're silly. And you're basing your own self-impression on what you're guessing other people might think of you. So be very careful not to do that if you can. Okay, our next topic is initiating new relationships, and your book talks about the value of communication. We have a whole chapter on communication, and it's one of my favorite topics, so I look forward to talking to you about that. Listening actively, actually listening rather than always coming back with something related to you, pulling the focus back on you, rather than listening to them and asking them questions about what they've said in order for them to go deeper. And you can plan creative conversation. When you're driving to someone's house, you can think about who they are, what's important to them, what activities do they do, have they gone on a vacation, are they planning their future vacation. Think about topics that are important to talk to people about and be a good conversationalist. Self-disclose so people get to know you. But don't go on and on and on about yourself, but tell them things that are important to you. Somebody says, oh, what's your major? You can say, well, I'm majoring in history, and that could be the end of it. Or you could say, I've developed a passion for history because I really think we have to understand where we've been to make good decisions about where we go in the future. That's a much deeper answer that really tells them something way more important about you than I'm majoring in history. Another way to initiate new relationships is go where you share interests with people. It's really great to meet friends and potential significant others who already are interested in what you're interested in. So go to hackathons, go to gaming places, go cross-country skiing, go to the movies, go where you share interests with people and it's easier to start talking to them. And then manage your ideas of risk. That means you say, well, what's the worst thing that could happen if I go there? Well, I could feel awkward. All right, can I deal with feeling awkward? Can I breathe deeply? Can I pull out my phone and stare at it while I'm feeling awkward? What can I do to help with my awkwardness? Or if you were to initiate a relationship with someone and they don't really want to be in a relationship with you, would that be the end for you? Or could you say, all right, I just picked someone I don't match with. It doesn't mean that I'm not worthy. I just need to pick someone that I match better with. Okay, so to review, we talked about self-actualization and growth, self-disclosure, loneliness, shyness, people perception, and the ability to develop new relationships. Now, let's look at the quiz questions. So when it comes time for the quiz, I really want you to keep your eyes on your own clicker and please don't talk at all while we're collecting your responses. I give you 30 seconds to answer the question and many of you can answer within the first 5 or 10 seconds. Then you have to sit there and be quiet for 20 seconds. And for some people, that's really hard. So I want you to plan what you're going to do for 20 seconds after you've given your answer that you feel confident about. Maybe you're just going to look at the screen, maybe you're going to look at me, maybe you're going to look at the clock, but not at your neighbor's clicker. So here's my adage, don't covet thy neighbor's clicker. Okay, there aren't any makeups on our quizzes, but I do give you enough points for a missed quiz. So I give you 50 points because each question is worth 10 points. No, 5 points, and you have 10 questions per quiz. So I ask you, are you ready to show you what you know? And I remind you that tassel on your graduation hat is worth the hassle of all of the exams and assignments that you're going to do in all of your classes. Okay, so here's the first question. According to your text, to become acquainted requires all of the following except. Okay, let's check these out. I'm not going to read every one of them, but you can start to look at this and see what you think your answer would be. Now you can pause here, you can take a picture of the screen, and then you can go back into the chapter and find the specific answers to each one of these questions. Normally, I would then show you a blank, and then I would show you the slide with the answer highlighted. But I'm not going to do that in this case. I'm just going to show you the questions. Here's our second question. More important than getting to know others is... Question 3. The advantages of self-disclosure include... Question 4. The talking out of our feelings, problems, and thoughts for the purpose of relieving ourselves of stresses and anxieties is called... Number 5, self-disclosure skills are important to relationships for all of the following reasons except... Number 6, the major difference between shy people and non-shy people is... Number 7, remember I said you needed to know the 3 steps in overcoming shyness. So what are they? Number 8, what describes the way in which We perceive, evaluate, categorize, and form judgments about the qualities of people we encounter. Number 9, in the attribution process, what do we do? And number 10, what occurs when a person's expectations of an event makes the outcome more likely to happen than would otherwise have been true? Okay, this is the last question. Best wishes for your success.